Hello and welcome, my dear friend. As you allow this moment to settle gently into your spirit, I invite you to simply breathe and let your heart soften, for what is unfolding before you is not coincidence nor chance, but a message carried across time, shaped by wisdom older than your battles and love deeper than your questions. A message crafted for the very version of you standing here now. There are words that wait for the right season, and there are words that arrive like a lantern placed into your hands, revealing what you could not yet see but have long sensed. And this is one of those words, born from a place where heaven watches every quiet choice you make and remembers every small act of goodness you thought no one noticed. For much of your journey, you have moved through life, carrying more weight internally than you ever allowed people to see externally. And though the world measures strength by what is visible, heaven has always measured yours by the unseen work of your soul. There were days you smiled while your heart was trembling, nights you whispered prayers that even your closest friends never heard, moments when you carried disappointment like a stone in your chest, but still found a way to speak gently, to forgive quietly, to hope stubbornly. Scripture reminds us in Psalm 34-18 that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And this closeness has been the unseen thread woven through your entire story, even in seasons when God felt silent. Every time you chose patience when irritation clawed at your voice, every time you stepped back from conflict even though anger would have been easier, every time you protected your peace instead of proving your point, heaven noticed. When you softened your tone instead of sharpening it, when you held your tongue because wisdom told you that truth does not always need volume, when you forgave someone who never apologized, when you chose integrity even though no one would ever know. These were not small things. These were seeds, sacred, costly, formative seeds, and though the ground of your life felt barren at times, not a single seed fell without God seeing it. Jesus said in Luke 8:17 that nothing hidden will remain unseen. And though this verse often speaks of exposure, it also speaks of recognition of the unveiling of good that was planted in secret. And perhaps you lived years waiting for someone to clap for you, acknowledge you, affirm you, yet the applause never came. Perhaps as a child you longed for praise that never arrived, so you learned to strive without reward. Perhaps as an adult you gave beyond your capacity, loved beyond your limits, poured out the last of your strength, only to be met with silence. Yet silence on earth has never meant silence in heaven. God kept count. God kept watch. God kept record of the tears you wiped before anyone saw them, the temptations you resisted that no one will ever know about, the battles you fought inside your own mind at 3 in the morning when everyone else was asleep. Your journey mirrors Elijah under the broom tree in 1 Kings 19, exhausted and discouraged after doing everything right, yet receiving no applause. And just as God sent an angel to strengthen Elijah, reminding him that the journey ahead required the endurance built in hiddenness, God has been strengthening you in ways you did not recognize. Hidden seasons do not mean neglected seasons. They mean preparation. And every preparation has an unveiling. That unveiling is beginning now, not with fireworks or fanfare, but with the quiet shift that happens when a soul becomes aligned with its true identity. People around you may begin to react differently without understanding why. Some may pause mid-sentence when you walk by, sensing a depth they can't name. Some may treat you more carefully, as though something about you carries gravity. Some may even distance themselves, not because you are doing anything wrong, but because growth has a way of illuminating what was once comfortable in them. Your presence will begin to carry a weight that is not heavy but holy. The kind of weight Moses carried when he descended the mountain in Exodus 34-29, and his face shone, though he did not know it. Others noticed the change before he did. And the same is happening with you. You have carried yourself through seasons darker than you like to remember, through valleys where hope flickered like a candle in the wind, through heartbreak that tried to convince you that your tenderness was a flaw, through disappointments that threatened to harden you. Yet you resisted becoming bitter. You resisted becoming someone unrecognizable to your own soul. You resisted the temptation to match the energy of those who hurt you. And heaven sees that as strength. True strength is not loud, not flashy, not aggressive. True strength is the ability to stay kind in a world that tried to turn you cold. True strength is choosing truth over popularity, compassion over convenience, restraint over revenge. True strength is the ability to walk away from what wounds you without needing to wound it back. And because you chose this path, your story is turning now. Not in a dramatic explosion, but in a divine shift, the kind that reorders things from the inside out. You may feel it already, a strange stillness settling over you, a sudden clarity about what no longer belongs in your life, a quiet yet firm confidence rising from a place you did not expect. This is what happens when God begins to reveal the meaning of your waiting. The places where you felt rejected will soon reveal why you were set apart. The delays that frustrated you will soon show themselves as protection. The chapters that felt unfinished will suddenly make sense because of what is coming next. Think of Joseph again, standing before his brothers in Genesis 45, saying, "You meant evil against me, but God intended it for good." He was not glorifying the pain, but acknowledging that purpose had been working even when he could not see it. The same is true for you. Your hidden years were not empty. They were shaping you for a role your earlier self could not have carried. There is a kind of authority that only comes from surviving disappointment without becoming it. There is a kind of discernment that only comes from being misjudged and yet choosing not to misjudge others. There is a kind of wisdom that is carved slowly, quietly, carefully, in seasons where your only teacher is endurance. You possess this now, and because of that, everything around you must shift. What once drained you will no longer have access to you. What once intimidated you will no longer unsettle you. What once felt uncertain will begin to feel aligned. This shift is not about gaining recognition from others, but about stepping into a recognition that heaven has already declared. You are worthy of what is coming, not because of performance, not because of perfection, but because of perseverance, because of integrity, because of the truth you held on to even when your hands were trembling. And when new blessings begin to unfold, do not question whether you deserve them. Do not shrink to fit old narratives that no longer represent who you are. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. Stand in the fullness of who you have become. You are not the timid version of yourself that once needed permission to exist. You are not the insecure version of yourself that once relied on validation. You are not the weary version of yourself that once believed endurance was your entire identity. You have stepped into a new season, one marked not by survival, but by transformation. And transformation has a sound, an atmosphere, a presence that others can feel even before you speak. People will sense something different about you, the same way the disciples sensed something different about Jesus after he spent nights alone in prayer. Luke 5:16 says, "He often withdrew to deserted places, and it was from those quiet, hidden spaces that his authority flowed." Your authority is beginning to flow in the same way from the places no one saw, from the nights you endured, from the prayers you whispered, from the battles you overcame in silence. And yes, some people will not know how to respond to the version of you emerging now. That is okay. Growth always disrupts familiarity. Your light may irritate those who are committed to their shadows. Your clarity may unsettle those who benefited from your confusion. Your peace may intimidate those who expected you to remain broken, but you are not responsible for their reactions. You are responsible only for honoring what God is unfolding in you, and what He is unfolding is not small. It is not temporary. It is not fragile. It is the kind of inner transformation that cannot be undone by opinion or reversed by circumstance. You are moving into a season that reflects covenant, not coincidence. Covenant strength, covenant clarity, covenant identity, covenant protection. Not the kind of blessing that wavers when circumstances shift, but the kind that grows deeper roots under pressure. Not the kind that depends on human approval, but the kind anchored in divine remembrance. The blessings coming your way are not random favors, they are responses. Responses to years you sowed in faith. Responses to nights you endured in silence. Responses to tears that watered the soil of your growth. Responses to choices you made when choosing differently would have been easier. Galatians 6-7 says, "A person reaps what they sow." And though this verse is often used in warning, it is also a promise that the seeds you planted in integrity will not be ignored by God. And so, when recognition begins to rise not from people, but from heaven, receive it without fear. Receive it without shrinking. Receive it without guilt. This is not about proving others wrong. This is about proving God right. Right about the potential He placed in you. Right about the heart He formed in you. Right about the strength He built in you when no one was watching. Your life is becoming an undeniable testimony of what grace can forge, of what endurance can shape, of what faithfulness can build. And in this new season, may you walk with humility, but not timidity. May you move with confidence, but not arrogance. May you keep your heart soft, even when your footsteps grow stronger. May your soul stay anchored, even as your influence grows. And may you never forget this truth. Nothing planted by God can be suffocated by neglect, and nothing entrusted to God can be stolen by circumstance. Your story is turning because God Himself holds the pen, and He is not finished writing.